Hello everyone. Welcome to Ninooya channel. And today we're diving into something we all struggle with. How to force your brain to do hard things. Whether it's studying, exercising, having difficult conversations, or starting that project you've been avoiding. Our brains are wired for survival, not success. They crave comfort, predictability, and reward. So when you think about doing something difficult, like waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, tackling a tough assignment, or confronting your fears, your brain naturally resists. It's not because you're lazy, it's because your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort, stress, and potential failure. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I set out to train for a half marathon. On the first day, I was pumped. But the second day, I woke up sore, tired, and unmotivated. My brain said, "Skip it. You've earned a rest." That voice got louder every time things got tough. But I pushed through by focusing only on the next small step, just putting on my shoes, then just getting out the door. One step at a time, I built momentum and ran 21 kilometers after 3 months. The biggest battle wasn't physical, it was mental. Every morning, I had to fight the internal resistance, the voice saying it was okay to quit. But each time I didn't, that voice got quieter. Eventually, the habit took over. And that's the secret. Train the brain to act before it argues. Neuroscience tells us that the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and impulse control, is weaker than the limbic system, which seeks pleasure and avoids pain. This is why willpower alone often fails. But there's good news. Your brain can be trained. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But it also fatigues. That's why relying on motivation isn't the solution. Instead, create systems, habits, and cues that bypass the decision altogether. Research by psychologist Roy Baumeister shows that decision fatigue is real. The more choices you have to make, the more your willpower drains. That's why routines are powerful. They eliminate the need to decide. You just do. It's not about discipline in the moment. It's about building structure that supports action. The 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and move. This interrupts your brain's autopilot and shifts you into action before doubt creeps in. Micro commitments. Break tasks into the smallest possible steps. Don't say, "I'm going to write a novel." Say, "I'll write for 5 minutes." The momentum builds once you begin. Create identity-based habits. Tell yourself, "I'm the kind of person who does hard things." The more you believe this, the more consistent your actions will be. Over time, your actions reinforce that belief. Control your environment. Remove distractions and set up cues that push you forward. Lay out your workout clothes. Set a timer. Put your phone in another room. Make it harder to quit and easier to begin. Reward the process, not just the outcome. Celebrate small wins. Every time you follow through, you're teaching your brain that effort is worth it. Your brain starts to associate discomfort with growth. Let me tell you about another time I had to force my brain through the fog. I was writing my thesis, deadlines looming, brain tired, and the comfort of Netflix calling my name. I didn't feel motivated, but I used a timer. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. I repeated this for hours. At first, it felt like crawling through mental quicksand. The words came slow, and the urge to procrastinate was strong. But once I got through the first 25-minute session, the next one was easier. I tricked my brain by saying, "Just one more round." Before I knew it, hours had passed, and real progress was made. I learned something important. Showing up is often the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum kicks in. And when the brain realizes it can push past resistance, it adapts. Now, here's an amazing insight I want to share from my friend Vinay. He said something that really stuck with me. Push yourself to do the initial few percentage of the task in such a way that you'll be compelled to finish the rest. Vinay shared how he lost 15 kilograms in just 2.5 months, not by joining a gym or fitness class, but simply by jogging on the road every day. Here's the catch. He jogged 3.5 kilometers away from home and had no choice but to jog back those same 3.5 kilometers to get home. That made it 7 kilometers every day. If he had jogged in a park or a ground, his mind would have convinced his body to stop after the first 3.5 kilometers because of fatigue. But by making the route where he had to jog back to reach home on time, because he had to get ready for class by 7:30 a.m., he forced himself to complete the whole distance. No excuses, no shortcuts. That's a brilliant example of setting up your environment and task so you have to follow through, even when your brain tries to talk you out of it. Here's the takeaway. Your brain will always try to take the easy way out. Your job is to gently but consistently say, "Nope, we're doing this." Start small. Stay consistent. Set up your environment for success. Don't wait for motivation. Create a structure that makes action inevitable. Here's your challenge for this week. Choose one thing you've been avoiding. Break it into micro steps. Set a timer and start. Train your brain to act before it talks you out of it. Thanks for tuning in to Ninooya podcast. If this episode helped you, subscribe, share it with someone who's struggling to get started. Follow us for more practical tips to rewire your brain for strength and resilience. Until next time, keep going, keep growing.